A narcissist gets in there to try to control you, to manipulate you, to gaslight you. If you're not aware, how are you going to counter it? So in today's video, let's become a little more aware. Let's start with projection. Projection's a big one because we all project in our life to some degree. There's some sort of uncomfortable feeling, something we don't want to deal with internally. We try to push it away. Well, one of the ways we push it away is we project it onto somebody else. So let's say we're uncomfortable with our weight. So we're out with our best friend and we start criticizing them about their weight, how they look. You're having lunch. Why did you order that? That's the most fattening thing on the menu. So we're projecting onto them the feelings that we have in ourselves about our own weight issues. So same thing with narcissists in terms of how they're going to try to get in there and control you is by projecting onto you what they don't want to deal with in themselves. So they feel weak and empty about themselves, trying to act like they know everything with lots of bravado because inside they feel like they don't know much at all and they feel very insecure about themselves. So they cover everything up with acting in an inverted way, acting the opposite way. That's projection. They're placing on you what they don't want to deal with in themselves. They may laugh at you, mock you, somehow ridicule you as a way to be superior over you. Now, if you're not onto this little trick, you may fall for it, not realizing it's just an act. But you have to ask yourself, if somebody really feels and believes they're superior to you, why would they need to put you down? They wouldn't have to do that because they know their own inner strength. But when you don't know your own inner strength, when you don't believe you have any inner strength at all, then you're going to need to try to manipulate in these ways. When they're questioned about things, somebody stands up to them, then that can really bring up some narcissistic rage perhaps. They'll gaslight you with, well, that never happened. I never said that. How dare you blame me for that? If it's about cheating in a relationship, let's say, for example, you may be wondering why they're always saying, I wonder where you were last night. I noticed you got home late. The person hearing this at the receiving end is like, I was just at the store a little bit longer than I thought I would be. They're projecting onto you in a way what they're capable of doing. And as they project, just be aware of their games in terms of all the excuses they may have, especially if you're trying to hold them accountable to what they're saying. Pointing out what in essence is a projection. So you're standing up to them and now they'll have the excuses of, well, I just worked all day today. I was just so exhausted. You knew who I was when you started to date me. This is who I am. Take it or leave it. You're the one who started this. I'm only reacting to what you started. Notice how if they're projecting onto you that they don't know the real you. And you're thinking, I've been very upfront and authentic with my feelings to you. So then you know it's a projection about that they don't know themselves. This is their little secret, what they're all about. So hence you see the projection. You may notice they're very judgmental, perhaps with others and definitely with you. If you notice a lot of judgments, what's that about? When the narcissist has a lot of judgments, we're projecting out a judgment we have against ourselves. Hence, back to the earlier example about the weight issue. Notice this from a narcissist, especially if you're being raised by a narcissist. It's even trickier with a covert narcissist if they happen to be your mother or father, because then they can slide the judgments in a very passive-aggressive way, very well hidden perhaps. So you have to really be willing and able to call this stuff out. And lastly, if they're always steering a conversation, maybe you have a friend who you notice narcissistic traits, or you're romantically involved with a narcissist, pay attention if they're steering the conversation. What's that about? It may be because by steering it in this way, they're not having to deal with what's over here. Something to be aware of. And notice if they always seem to need to be very busy. Perhaps they're a workaholic or have tons of activities that they're involved with. But overly so much that they can't even enjoy their own life. Well, do they know how to enjoy their own life? Maybe they're afraid of stillness because that would require looking in. And they may be terrified of looking in at their own stuff, what they're all about. And if they get threatened on that level because you as a boyfriend or girlfriend are saying, let's just hang out at the park for a few hours, let's just chill out, I'll bring a picnic. Notice how then, because they're feeling threatened inside by the stillness, that they project onto you something like, you know, you're so boring. What a waste of time. Just sitting around doing nothing. So anything that requires them to be still may be very threatening, and notice that they're projecting anything onto you because of their fear of going inside. So quick little video about how to become very aware. Knowledge is power, once again. So if you're on the receiving end of this in your life somehow, please feel free to leave some examples in the comments below. Please subscribe to my mental health YouTube channel if you like these kind of videos. And until next week, this is Brad Shore signing off from Ask a Shrink.